Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's chapter review of Fairy Tail 461. In this chapter was, I would have to say, in my personal opinion, an improvement over last week's chapter because it gave us a little more context and help, I guess, signify that last week's double chapter wasn't as bad. It was still pretty bad, but it wasn't as bad. We find out that Ichiya apparently has been with them for days now since they barged it because when the group who went to get Loxus and the Thunder Legion back from Blue Pegasus, they apparently barged in, took the ship with Ichiya, and Ichiya's been with them all this time, and he's just they've completely forgotten. But of course, he's been spending his time preparing Christina to fly again after it was used to go get Makarov and the gang. After thanking him, the head of Walhart explodes. But Ichiya is saved by the Thunder Legion, who help take the blast to lessen its damage. They kind of, have a touching moment. It was like, oh, well, we're all family. So, and then we switch over to the southern waters of Fiore, off of Hargion, where we find the real body of Wallitch, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and that he's actually human, and I think I like this design better. We also see that another one of the others, Prison 12, and he basically gives her the information that he found out from his robot, which is basically Gilles has been taken out, Brandish is captured, and his toy robot has been destroyed. After some, pretty much they're saying they compliment Fairy Tail to be good. I'm not saying that they are better than they at first anticipated, but they also point out that this is obviously why the Emperor deployed the entire army, and that they aren't going to let them make fools of this Fairy Tail. So he makes a gigantic, and so they're about 30 kilometers away from Fiore, and Wall makes this giant ass cannon to fire at Fairy Tail, which is from their location is actually 400 kilometers away. And he fires this cannon, which is called a hyper long range antimatter magic cannon. Try and say that 5 times fast. And this thing is just, this guy's skills, is no joke already, because you would expect, because he's Spriggan 12. But this man fires a cannon and is actually on target for a target that he's aiming for 400 kilometers away. That is a lot. Now, of course, the people in Fairy Tail are freaking out because they're trying to we gotta stop. We can't stop this. Freed, you have to put up your barrier again. But unfortunately they can't communicate to them. So it's just like, everyone's freaking out. And just when they thought they were going to get hit, Ichiya flies in with Christina to have Christina take the blast. Now, Christina really, I think the thing about Christina is that it is stupid. It was probably one of the worst. It is literally, its sole purpose has been throughout the entire series to be basically to block large-scale attacks and get blown up 1,000 times. Come on. I think this is, well, not 1,000 times, more I think this is the second or third time was used as was hit with an attack like this. And of course, as the ship is falling apart, Ichiya uses this chance to activate the Fiore Communications Network. and saying that this is a battle, but it's not only your battle. Can you hear me? This is our battle. And we get a nice final page showcasing the other major guilds that we are predicted from the Grand Magic Games, pretty much. Because we already know that with Ichia there, we're going to get Lamia Scale, or not Lamia Scale, Blue Pegasus probably showing up. But now, thanks to this communication, we see Lamia Scales, Sabretooth, Mermaid Heel, and even Quattro Cerberus have been notified, and now they are seemingly going to be now on their way. And next chapter is apparently going to be called Battlefield. So overall, I think this chapter was, I guess, much improvement, very much improvement. So that means the result of last week's chapter was only Warhol's main machine body or main favorite robot was destroyed. Brandish was captured and Agia was taken out. So it lessens the blow from last week, but it still doesn't completely make up for it. Now, so I guess this makes up for Walhart's defeat because it wasn't actually him. He's a machine, or that they defeated a machine that he made. So, in all essence, I guess you could say this means only 2 of the 12 have been taken out. Now, of course, like I said in last week's review, it's possible that Brandish might do something, so she might not technically be out yet, but who knows. So I like where this is going. All the other guilds all the other important guilds have been notified, basically saying, "Oh, this is our battle." So now unfortunately, I say that now they've been notified of the battle. Well, here's the thing: when you take a look at it here, you just see, a plain white background with some key characters from each of the guilds. So it's kind of hard to really say where they are. Which means you can't tell if they're at their guilds currently or if they're right around the corner from Magnolia. All we know is that this is going to get interesting fast. Hopefully, in next week's chapter, we'll get to see a bunch of these other guilds coming in to help. Maybe even they'll get there before the next wave of enemies arrive. So, overall, I would have to give this chapter the rating of improvement over last week. That's going to be my rating. So I hope you all enjoyed this review and hope to see you all next week.
Alright, everybody, it's time for my part of Fairy Tail this week. Yes, we're recording this separately because of certain circumstances, but that's not the point. The point is Fairy Tail. I'm not going to talk too much about what happened. I'm just going to give my opinion on what's happening here. I'm going to talk about the first thing I want to mention is that I really like, first and foremost, I really do like how Wall is not dead. Like, I am glad that it wasn't just the machine and it's actually a person controlling the machine, and the person is actually much stronger than the machine, because it was quite underwhelming for a Spriggan 12 to get taken out that quickly, that easily, by somebody that's not Erza. Because Erza is just Erza. I mean, she's going to do it. I mean, you're going to suffer your losses with her no matter what. But in this case, Freed had his moment, but at the same time, it wasn't, the Spriggan 12 full power, so to speak. So I do like that. And the real body actually looks pretty cool. I actually do like the real Wall. He looks pretty sick. Wall Icht or Val Icht, because it looks like it's spelled like German. I think so. It might be Val Icht. I don't know, but like his like long range shit, that was like totally a Magi moment. I swear, like, those of you who read the manga of Magi know exactly what I'm fucking talking about too, because it was pretty recent. So that threw me for a bit of a loop. I'm like, oh, we're going Magi now, huh? So I did like that. Um, that was definitely a big plus. Was Valicht or Walicht. Um, Ichia being able to block it with whatever the ship's name was, I forget. Was whatever. Ichia in general, he does sort of bring up an acknowledgement, which Don and I sort of pointed out earlier in this arc, where like they're just kind of, or not in this arc, but the previous, like, the getting everybody back together mini arc, where people are just going to up and abandon their previous guilds, and we at least get to see a little bit of the effect of it, which is good for just story acknowledgement. It's not like they're not affected by it. Like, honestly, it's like, Blue Pegasus, Lamia Scale, all of them, they just got honey-dicked because those of them that just temporarily joined them until Fairy Tail got back together, it's kind of like, we're just making short-term commitments with you. We don't really care about you. That's what that really implicitly says. You know what I mean? Um, so, yeah, like we can see Ichiya, obviously, his feelings are hurt. But freed Bixlow and Evergreen, showing that they do care about Blue Pegasus. It's not that they just, up and abandon them just because, a temporary thing, but it's just that they're committed to Fairy Tail first and foremost. But they do also care for Blue Pegasus. It's just that, you know, it's Fairy Tail, and that's their home guild. So I do like that. Um, Even if it is Ichiya, whom I do not like. So that's that. I mean, that's pretty much the chapter in general. But I will mention. I'll talk about Di Maria just a little bit. I kind of like, the personality that she's exuding right now. Um, it's pretty basic right now, but just what we got from her and Wallach, I like it. You know, it's enjoyable enough. Uh, so, oh, and last thing, of course, you know, incoming guilds. Of course, we saw Lamia Scale, Sabretooth, Mermaid Heel, Quattro Cerberus or Quattro Puppy, and then Natsu at the end. So at least those guilds are here now. I think, and we know Blue Pegasus is already there, but I want to see fucking Hibiki, man. Where is he? Uh, I don't know if there was any other guilds that could possibly come, but if they could, um, maybe later. But overall, I thought this chapter was not half bad. There was some cool stuff going for it. The Magi moment just kind of threw me, but it was not in a bad way, more of a surprised kind of way. Um, but yeah, I thought the developments in this chapter were pretty good. So, um, yeah, so thank you guys for listening. We'll see you all next time.